Uh, all right. My next one again, like you're kind of making me feel bad because like
It's all right.
there's
I don't care.
this one like again is not one that there's any reason to be ashamed of. This one falls more into the I think people would be surprised because when I talk about music and we've talked about this ad nauseum that when we say something is the best or the worst, we're only speaking subjectively about ourselves. We're not there's no objective good and bad, but I always throw in a little caveat. My caveat to that is country music. That country music is objectively bad, particularly pop country. But I don't listen to country music. I'm not throwing shade on anybody who does. It's just not for me. But having said that, there is one artist that I have been obsessed with over the last couple years, and that's Zach Bryan. And, like, I think people would be surprised at just how much I love Zach Bryan's music. I listen to him all the time. I follow him on Instagram. I follow him on Twitter. I constantly following as because he's constantly writing and posting clips as he writes songs. He'll just post the clips on his Instagram and his Twitter, and like I'm on the edge of my seat. Wait, he's about to drop another album any week now. It's finished. It's coming.
With a cigarette in his mouth or in his guitar strings.
Yep, that's right. But yeah, he's got a new album called The Great American Bar Scene coming out. I don't know if that's officially the title, but that's what he's said it's going to be called. He put out the first single for it last week, Pink Skies. Phenomenal song. But yeah, I don't go back to like everything he's done in the past because he's ridiculously prolific. And again, his major label debut. So he had two albums, DeAnn and Elizabeth, that he pretty much put out on his own. But then he did a major label debut called American Heartbreak. And that thing is like 40 freaking songs long. Like it's the most insane major label debut I think I can recall in a long time, but it is strikingly good. But then last year he put out his self-titled album, and that's the one that I absolutely fell in love with. So as much as I don't listen to country, there's just something about Zach Bryan's voice that I love. And the way the way he approaches songwriting, they're very simple, stripped down, but he's able to layer different elements to it. It's just something that I like. Really, really, really love Zach Bryan's music, and I think it would certainly be surprising. I don't feel any reason to be ashamed of it. He's a huge, massive star. Tons of people love Zach Bryan, so I'm not going out on any limbs here, but I just think it's one that's surprising.
Yeah. I've listened to some Zach Bryan. I think it's really cool. I certainly have not gotten into it in the way that you've gotten into it.
Yeah.
But he is a phenomenon, and
Yeah.
the way that he's caught fire in a post radio world, a post MTV world, where he can sell out basically any venue he wants in the universe at this point, across the country, across the world. It's I assume across the world. I definitely across the country.
Yeah, he's playing the Horseshoe here in Columbus this summer. It's part of a festival, but like he's the draw.
He's the guy.
Everybody's going there to see Zach Bryan. And yeah, like in some ways he's kind of like what Eric Church was kind of hyped to be. If you remember when there was that breakthrough moment that Eric Church was supposed to kind of.
I love that record, by the way.
I did too. I listened to that one a lot at the time. It's
a great record.
But like he never really was able to follow up on that momentum. I have not heard anything about Eric Church in a while. Whereas
and he couldn't pull off the live show as well as
Zach does.
As well as Zach Bryan does, because when Eric Church sings live, he's good, but it's definitely thinner. And he sounds a little bit more like a studio construct than, this raw dude who sings with cigarette smoke in his face and posts clips straight to Instagram. Yeah. There's like a genuineness to what Zach Bryan's doing, which it doesn't surprise me in some ways how he's caught on.
And he's just such a
But it's
songwriting force that it just doesn't feel like he's going away anytime soon. Like when
no.
you're that prolific, you can just make an album that as fast as, like, he's literally been on tour. Like he's finishing up an album while he's on tour. Like it's nuts.
Well, I don't want to go too far down this road, but when you're in the country market, you're also kind of uncancelable. I mean,
Yeah.
Morgan Wallen still has a career,
Yeah.
and if he would been in many other genres of music, he'd be done.
That's true.
Done.
Although I don't get the censors any fear of that with Zach Bryan, but you never know.
Probably not.
But you never know.